The director Rob Reiner has been found dead along with his wife Michelle at his home in Los Angeles. He was 78. His wife was 68. Police are believed to be questioning a family member over their deaths. He was a great man by any standards, prolific filmmaker whose hits include This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, my personal favourite, A Few Good Men. Kevin Maher is the Times chief film critic, joins us now. Kevin, morning to you.
Morning, Stig.
A great man. I think I was saying earlier that actually if you had a random room of people and asked them to name their favourite films, it's quite likely a Rob Reiner directed film would be named pretty quickly.
Yeah, the randomness of that room, the hypothetical room, is the key because it's just the scope of what he did. You know, I've been doing a little sort of Rob Reiner's top 5 for the paper just now, and I kind of forget how he covered every possible genre. How, you know, we love filmmakers like Scorsese, but you know most people would say, oh yes, he defined the gangster genre. You know, George Lucas, you know, sci-fi, etc. But Rob Reiner, it's just ridiculous. You know, The Princess Bride is a fairy tale genre that has influences up to, you know, everything today. There's, you know, When Harry Met Sally, there's no Richard Curtis without When Harry Met Sally. There's no Four Weddings without When Harry Met Sally. You go on this journey and you trace films, and they somehow they end at Rob Reiner. You know, This Is Spinal Tap. That's his. There's no The Office without Spinal Tap. There's no Sacha Baron Cohen without Spinal Tap. You know, it's completely crazy that this character, who is, if you ask people to point out Rob Reiner in a lineup, they wouldn't be able to do it. And yet he's this the sort of pretentious filmmakers call him, he's a métier en scène, which means he can do every different type of genre, and he's one of these characters who his fingerprints are over, you know, stuff that we still watch today. It's like, oh yeah, you know, a story within a story. You know, Mufasa the Lion King, when I was watching it, they had this whole thing at the start, which is literally ripped from the Princess Bride. So Misery, you know, Misery, Kathy Bates, and you know, that's a film about celebrity culture today, about social media, about how we sort of want ownership over the people we obsess over, and just it's quite, without being too chin strokey, it's quite profound where his work has ended up.
What I think is interesting though, Kevin, is that I've heard it said that some directors, you can say that's a shot, that's a Scorsese shot, that's a Spielberg shot, that's a trick, it's a twist, it's a thing that they do. But Rob Reiner just seemed to make films that everyone wanted to see, but there isn't an obvious like a Rob Reiner effect. It's almost as if the story seemed to take priority and he's just a director that gets you from A to B to C in the right way.
Yes, and that's what I love about him. Yeah, you know, that's the thing I think is just so annoying. People, oh, there's another, goddamn the French. There's another French word for that, and it's effet de signature. It's the signature. Oh, it's a classic Scorsese. Every time someone walks through a sort of restaurant, and there's a camera walking through a restaurant in any film, people go, oh, it's Scorsese. It's so nice. And the beautiful thing about Reiner is, it feels like he has, you know, bigger fish to fry. He's a storyteller, and he just wants people, you know, he wants the story to unfold. The story leads, and I think that's because he had an amazing ability with choosing screenwriters. You know, Nora Ephron for When Harry Met Sally, William Goldman for A Few Good Men. That's leaning towards screenwriting, is leaning towards story, is leaning towards what really matters, which is, you know, the narrative progress of the film before you. So I think that's one of his. I don't know if you call that a skill, but it's certainly a keen eye of his. Maybe because he was an actor before or something, but he really knew how to choose screenwriters, and that's why, you know, the people in that hypothetical room will all have seen one of his films. Yeah. You love a really powerful story, rather than nobody really falls in love with a tracking shot through a restaurant.
That's an excellent point. Before you go, if people want to watch a Rob Reiner film tonight, give us one to watch.
Well, that's tricky because it's like you've seen them all before, but if you want to luxurious, I'm a bit with you, Stig, because I love Spinal Tap, I love When Harry Met Sally, but I feel I know them so well. There's something about A Few Good Men that's just so delicious to watch. And again, here's a screenwriter thing. That's Aaron Sorkin, you know, of the Western. That's his words, and something about his words and actors who play them really well that are eminently rewatchable. And I think A Few Good Men, you know, you want me on that wall, Stig. You need me on that wall. You can't resist that.
You can't handle the truth, Kevin Maher, but you've thrown out a bit for us right now. Great to speak to you, my friend.
Okay.
That's Kevin Meyer there, the Times chief film critic, remembering Rob Reiner and an amazing lesson. He's clearly writing for the paper, so go on the website and read that.
And there have been tributes, including from Barack and Michelle Obama, who say they're heartbroken. A reminder that the LAPD was called to the home at 3:30, found a man and a woman dead in the property. Sources have confirmed they are Rob and Michelle Reiner. They'd suffered stab wounds. Detectives are treating the incident as homicide, and a family member is being questioned by investigators. There have been no arrests. We'll bring you any updates on that story throughout the morning here on Times Radio.
Actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife were found dead in their Los Angeles home on Sunday in a case that police are investigating as an apparent homicide. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom have each released statements confirming the deaths of Reiner and his wife. In a post on social media, Bass wrote that Reiner's passing was a devastating loss for our city and our country. Police have yet to publicly identify the deceased, however. LAPD Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton says police officers searched the house.
Upon arrival, they determined that there were 2 deceased individuals inside of the residence. The Los Angeles Police Department is now conducting an investigation at this residence here on Chadbourne, and that investigation will continue over the coming days. In terms of someone that may have information regarding what happened inside the residence, we're not going to release that information. That'll be part of the investigation.
Hamilton said police had not identified the suspect as of Sunday night. He added that the cause of death will be made public by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office.
You're on 10 on your guitar. Where can you go from there? Where?
As an actor, Rob Reiner was best remembered for his breakout role on the classic TV comedy All in the Family. He played Mike Meathead Stivic, the outspoken son-in-law and the liberal foil to Archie Bunker, portrayed by Carol O'Connor. Reiner was also known for his filmmaking, directing some of Hollywood's most beloved movies. That includes The Princess Bride, This Is Spinal Tap, and When Harry Met Sally. His wife, Michelle Singer, once worked as a photographer and famously captured the image of Donald Trump featured on the cover of Trump, The Art of the Deal.